Okay, kitty pies, it's January 6th, 2024, and this is the progress I've made since the year started last week. So I am welded in that quarter patch panel down below there. That was a Klassic Fab panel. They're good panels, they're rockers, their heating channels are very good. This patch panel here, it's not the greatest. The problem is, the stampings were good, but writing here wasn't exactly the right curvature. And then also, in the door jamb, just like all of them in here, this area in here was a little funky, so I had to work that a little bit. And another thing is, their metal is a lot thicker than what Volkswagen had originally. So when you go to weld the two, they don't made up exactly correct. And believe it or not, I got this one just a little hot. I had to shrink it in a couple spots. So this thing gave me a run for the money. But up underneath there, you can see it's got the correct drain holes. So finally got it done. I got about 4 or 5 hours in body work, just in body filler, just getting that nice and straight. It didn't made up in this area either, the greatest. You have to really work that area too, because they just stop them short right here. They don't come, they stop it short right here. And the curvatures are a little different, so you have to really work it. So there it is. I got my fender fitted up, looks really good now. I had to weld a stud in that hole there. Cleaned out all the other ones. Now this one here was a broken off stud in there from the previous owner. So all my fender mount areas are looking good. So, and up in here, most cars have rust. A lot of them have holes. I had a pinhole right here. So you can see the pitting there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to epoxy prime that, and then I'm going to fill it with short strand fiberglass. That way if moisture gets in there, it won't even be hitting the metal. So, and also I put the latch in just to fit the door. I put the striker and latch in the door. I put the old, I think this is an older Brazilian seal for the door. Put that back in. Put the handle back in. Just, I wanted to make sure it latched. I wanted to make sure everything lined up good. It's shutting good. Let me see if I can see. Shuts a little hard because the door is so light. Once you get the weight of the door in there, it'll latch a lot better. So, this side gave me a hard time for my money here because it was just, you have a lot of fitting to do on this area. To get these door gaps, I got them good now. You could see up in here. And this area here, it kept wanting to come down on me. So you got to be careful where you weld your quarter at the bottom because that affects right here. So you can see I finally got it. So my body side moldings here should line up good because this is good here. So hopefully they do line up. That's the only thing I haven't fitted. I'll probably do that later this week before I finish everything up. Also, I wanted to clean up all this. I wanted the door jamb to look really good, so I had to make all that in there look good. I still got some work to do in there. So we're looking good there. I sent the engine tins off to the media blaster this week. And just to give you a little update on the body filler that I use on this, I'm going to use on this. This here is probably the best body filler that I like to use. I love this body filler. Sands very good. Dries good. And for like a final couple coats, I usually put the plastic honey in there to thin it out a little bit, like a top coat. There is a difference in spreaders. There are firm ones, and then you got those one there. They're a lot flexible. This one here, I used a firm one because it was a flat area. And before I put the body filler down, I always skim coat my welds with Evercoat FiberTech. That's a short strand. There's the number there if you need it. I don't put a lot on it, just enough to, if I missed anything, that'll fill it in. And it is waterproof, so if water gets in that area, it will not bubble out the body filler. So I always put that on my seams first, and then I follow it up with this. Now there's the number for the Ultra Rage. There's the number for the Plastic Honey. And there's the number for the short strand fiberglass. And there's Prepsol, that's the number for SEM. I use that. Now, I use the foam block for areas that are round, especially inside the fender wells. And it's got the this type of backing for the paper. Now, these blocks here, these linear blocks, these are awesome. These are a little on the expensive side, but they are definitely worth it. Now, this thing here cut my time down on that quarter panel like no time. Gets everything super straight, laser straight. Now, if you're using these, they come in three different. This is the Ultra Flex. They have a medium, and then they have a firm. So I use the Ultra Flex on this because, believe it or not, on that quarter panel, there's like 4 different angles. Because these beetles, even though at their side they look flat, they're really not. There's angles going in 4 different directions. So you got to make sure you get that to make it look correct. Now with the linear blocks, I would definitely recommend buying a set of these. They'll probably be about 120 bucks for 3 of these. They come in different sizes. I would definitely recommend that. Now, if you're going to use the linear block, you don't want to use, you want to get the stick it, okay? Because you don't want to use this because this gives a little bit. And that'll mess up your panel straightness. You want to use, I use the 3M stick it, okay? See here, stick it. That way it has no give on the surface there when you're sanding. So these are the grits I like to use. I like to start off with 80 grit because the new body fillers are so easy to sand. You don't even need to use 36 or 40 anymore. I start off with 80. And my favorite of all time is 120 grit. I love 120 grit. I use that for mostly everything. And then I finish everything off in 220. Okay, I finish it off in 220. Now I love, once again, I use the stick it for my DA. 120, 220, and 80. Follow it again. And then these are for the foam blocks if you need to use them. That right there, the Snap-on DA, that's probably one of the best ones. I call that my money maker. That thing is very awesome. That thing straightens and cuts really good. Very well worth it. That's the new DeWalt 1/4-inch ratchet. They just came out with it a little while ago. Very nice. Hopefully that's better than the other ones I was using. So that's a little update on the bug restoration. I got the distributor back from NOS, the guy in Texas. Looks very nice. That's the old cap I just put on there, but he put a new canister on the side, put a new badge in the front, painted it up, and rebuilt the inside. So that should work good with the new carburetor, the new manifold that I got, NOS manifold I got coming. So that thing should run good when it's all done. So just another update. Finally got that right quarter done. This thing gave me, there's a lot of work on this. This was probably the hardest thing I had to do on this whole car so far, was that area there. Even the heat channels weren't that hard. The hardest part of the heat channels was cutting the old ones out. So this right here, to make it everything line up right, get your gaps right, make it line up under the doors there, make it line up with that fender. A lot of work. It takes a lot of work. And I couldn't figure out why my running board wasn't fitting. I took it apart, and this thing is garbage running board. I tell you, I don't know where this was made. This came with the car. I don't know. The previous owner had bought it. You can see here, that stamp in there is just terrible. It looks like I did it in my backyard with a hammer and dolly. So I'm gonna get a lot better running boards. Now I know why they weren't fitting down in that corner there. So, okay, kids, just another update on the 60 bug. And that right there was probably my hardest thing. The next thing, once again, I'm gonna finish up this side. Probably be this week coming up. This side, I'm not gonna be as far into it. That should go a lot faster and a lot easier. So once that's done, I'm pretty much almost game over with the metal work on this car. So I just weld everything up, which I'm gonna do up on a lift so I can get to everything a lot easier. Okay, kitty pies.